Welcome back to my Zenith Ingredients Only challenge. In the last part I defeated Pantera, and I don't waste any time in traversing through the jungle temple to take on Golem. While there are multiple upgrades we can get after defeating Pantera, these won't be necessary, even against Master Mode Golem. Having disabled all the traps and getting rid of the spikes, I build a small platform and summon him. Using a combination of the True Excalibur and True Knight's Edge, I quickly deplete his health. After a couple of close calls, I quickly dispatch the boss. Luckily I got the picks off on the first kill, which will give a nice boost to my mining speed. With some time left on my buffs, I fight him again, trying to get the Sunstone in order to craft the Celestial Shell. Unfortunately the bag doesn't drop it, so I'll have to return later to farm it. Upon returning home, I craft my first 2 pieces of beetle armour. However, to make the third I need one more turtle shell, so I return to my Pantera arena to farm for it. After crafting my full set of armour, I spawn the Solar Eclipse so that I can obtain the Broken Hero Sword from Mothron's. Luckily the first one I kill also drops Mothron wings, which are a pretty good upgrade to my current wings. During the madness, I accidentally trigger a Martian invasion, resulting in a lot of deaths and time spent trying to defeat both events at once. With the Broken Hero Sword dropped by Mothron, I can now upgrade my weapons to the Terrorblade, which is arguably the best sword pre-Moonlord. After the massacre that was my first Martian invasion, I decide I need some upgrades if I'm to defeat it to obtain this Influx Waver. I start by farming Golem a few more times in order to get the Sunstone, which I then upgrade all the way to the Celestial Shell, which provides me a great all-round buff along with some melee specific ones. I then build a simple arena with lava at the bottom to help with the events that I'll have to farm. This should deal with some of the weaker enemies while I can focus on the mini-bosses. I do some grinding for the alternative beetle chestplate and the Master Ninja gear, then prepare a truffle worm spawning area for our upcoming fights against Duke Fishron. The only reasons I have to fight Duke Fishron are his wings and his mount, as his weapons are not used to craft the Zenith and even still are less powerful than the Terrorblade I already have. I found the fight relatively easy with all the powerful accessories I have in the Terrorblade. It definitely feels like overkill. I was anticipating having to fight Duke quite a few times to get his wings, at a 1 in 15 drop chance. However, I get very lucky and he drops these on his second defeat. After Duke, I return to the jungle to fight Pantera again for the Seedler, another Zenith ingredient that stays very strong right up to Endgame. While it has less raw damage than the Terrorblade, its projectiles have homing, which make it better against certain enemies. Over the next few hours, I grind the Pumpkin Moon and Martian Madness events to get the respective swords. First to drop is the Horseman's Blade after 2 Pumpkin Moons. For the Influx Waver, I was less lucky and it took an unnecessarily long time. Eventually it does drop though, and I'm very thankful that I don't have to fight any more Martian saucers in this playthrough. In between events, I attempted the Empress of Light many times, each one unsuccessful. I haven't played much 1.4 Terraria, so I haven't learned her attack patterns very well, leading to a lot of avoidable deaths. The homing aspect of the Seedler makes it the perfect weapon for the Empress of Light, allowing me to focus on dodging rather than aiming. After each attempt, I do feel myself getting better at dodging her attacks. It took around 10 attempts to finally get a successful one. The only useful drop from the Empress is the Soaring Insignia, allowing me to fly infinitely. Using my new accessory, I take on the Lunatic Cultist. The infinite flight really helps with this fight, allowing me to dodge most of the attacks without having to touch down to reset my flight. I use the Seedler again, as the Lunatic Cultist's small hitbox makes him hard to hit with the Terrorblade projectiles. After a quick fight, the cultist is defeated and the celestial pillars are spawned. I'm not going to waste too much time showing you the pillars, as they're quite definitely the worst part of the game. So let's fast forward to the Moonlord fight itself. My first 2 attempts were unsuccessful, with my dodging not being good enough to avoid damage. This led to me having to fight the cultist and pillars again, which I was not very happy about. The third try, however, was a lot more successful. In fact, I don't think I even went under half health once. Using the long sky bridge, I keep the Moonlord on the edge of the screen while jumping over his attacks. Then as he charges his laser, I fly over his head and repeat in the opposite direction. It only takes a few minutes of this cycle to deplete his health, and it's only a matter of time until I officially complete Master Mode Terraria using the Zenith ingredients. However, our journey does not stop here. While the Moonlord has dropped one of the remaining 2 Zenith ingredients, the Meowmere, there remains one more to get. After another Moonlord fight, I have enough Luminite to make the final armour upgrade, the Solar Flare armour. This, along with the Meowmere, makes battling the Moonlord much faster, and after another couple of battles, he drops the last ingredient, the Star Wrath. Wanting to try out this weapon before crafting the Zenith, I summon the Moonlord once again to face my lineup of weapons. From the humble beginnings of the Copper Short Sword to my personal favourite, the Star Fury, and then all the way up through the hard mode swords to the drops of the Moonlord himself, he didn't stand a chance. That leaves us only one last thing to do before the end of this playthrough, and that is crafting the Zenith itself. I'd like to thank everyone who watched this series, and especially all those who have liked and commented. Your encouragement is massively appreciated, and without it this video would not exist. I had a lot of fun with this challenge, both while playing the game and editing the footage. I learned a lot along the way, which I hope to take forward to future projects. If you'd like to see what those projects are, then make sure you subscribe so you don't miss them. And once again, thanks for watching.